Siapa yang keluar tu masuk balik ya, terkeluar. Siapa yang terkeluar tu masuk balik. Because saya presentkan macam mana tah, ya. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. We are now going to continue on chapter 7, that is on accruals and prepayment. Okay, what is accrual? What is prepayment? Okay, as I mentioned in the last lecture, a bit about this in the last lecture. The accruals and prepayments are adjustment. When the accountants at the end of the financial year, the accountant has to close the books of the business. And there are a lot of adjustments that the accountants have to make. For example, like, for instance, like electricity bill, when electricity bill for the business, so this has to be included in the books of the account. That means have to be accounted here. But for example, let's say the accounting year for the business is from January to December 2019. January to December 2019, and let's say the last month for December, the usage of electricity in December 2019, the business wouldn't know how much that they are going to pay for electricity, because usually the electricity bill will come in January. So, although that these are going to be received in January, the company has to make payment. Yeah. And the company or the business has to consider the usage of the electricity as expense in the statement of profit or loss account. Although that is not been paid yet, but the business has to take that into consideration and include in the statement of profit and loss account. So, for example, now, usually at the end of the year, by 31st December, the accountant would not finish preparing the account yet. It's not going to be on time preparing. Yeah? Usually it'll take a little bit longer, maybe extending into January. So when accountant prepare, so they will extend that to January, because they are going to there are so many work to be done, and also to wait for maybe certain bills, etc. So when the bill come in January, and then the accountant has to consider this. Yeah. So let's say the bill for January for electricity bill is 120 ringgit per month. Sikit sangat Okay, let's say 2,000, let's say 1,200 for December. Let's say 1,200 for December. But the bill is received in January. Yeah, the bill is received in January. So this 1,200, even though that is been received in January, that has to be included in the statement of profit or loss. Yeah. So in the profit and loss account expense, the company will have to include in the statement of profit and loss the 1,200. Yeah, 1,200. So maybe, okay, I'm opening the words here. Okay, let me share this with you. Okay, this is, can you see in your screen, word, Allah. Okay, nampak Okay. So let's say we have a statement. This is title. I just write short form. Statement of profit or loss. Can everybody see this? Statement of profit or loss. You can see or not? Saya tak dengar sebab saya tak tengok mic ni, saya tengah tengok word saja. Maybe you can on your microphone and respond to me. Sebab saya tak tahu you nampak ke tak. Saya tak tengok mic ni sebab saya tengah tengok yang ni sahaja. What is this? Okay, so this is statement of profit or loss, and for the statement is going to be for the year ended. The year ended. I just write like this. Year ended 2019. Okay, so we have the revenues, and then we have the expenses here. The expenses. So saya dah kecilkan the expenses. Okay, so one of the item for expenses would be what? The electricity. The electricity, how much is it just now for December? 1,200. Yeah. So 1,200. This would be for December. What about for January until November? Let's say the electricity bill for January until November is 5,000. So that means the electricity expense would be 5,000 plus 1,200, which is equal to what? How much is it? 6,200. So this 1,200 is what we say accrued expense because we received the bill in January, right? It is for December. It is received in January. So we say that this is accrued expense. So you can see that this is expense. This is accrued. Yeah. Right. What about the accrued? What about accrued revenue? Accrued revenue. Okay, just now we have accrued expense. Accrued revenue is a situation where, let's say you have a property. You have a property and you rent it. Yeah, you let it. So you get income from rental property. And assume you are the business lah, you have some property, your business has some property, you let. So you let's assume you rent that for 1 month, 500 ringgit. For 500 ringgit. So again, the year end is until 31st December 2019. Yeah. Year ended 31st December 2019, yeah. So for the December, let's say the tenant, the one that rent the property from you, the business premise from you, did not pay yet. Yeah, because maybe he is in overseas, so he didn't come back yet, and he owed you that 500 ringgit. So even though that you have not received, which you are going to receive later maybe in January or maybe in January or maybe in February, but you have to recognize that. So therefore, you're going to have here rental income. Yeah, rental income. How much is it for December? December is 500 ringgit. But what about, from January to November? Let's assume that that property is being occupied, rented throughout, yeah, and you have received, let's say, 6,000 already, yeah, from January to November, 6,000. So that means you're going to have 6,000 there plus, for December, even though you have not received, accruing to you, you have not received, but you have to add that. So you are going to add. So the total for the rental income will be 6,500. Okay, everybody. So this is for this one is accrued. This is accrued income. This is accrued expenses. Yeah. Okay, what about the opposite? Okay, the prepayment pula. Prepayment. Okay, for a prepayment, it will be opposite. Yeah, prepayment will be opposite. For a prepayment, um, prepayment example of prepayment would be a situation where the company had the company or the business had paid the, let's say, insurance, yeah, insurance, motor car insurance. Motor car insurance, let's say 1 year is 2,400. Now, the company bought the motor insurance on January 2000, January 2000, 2019, because the car was actually bought in January 2019. So the company paid insurance, let's say 2,400. Yeah, paid insurance 2,400. Now insurance, what is it? Insurance is an expense, so it should be here. Okay, insurance is going to be in the expense. So will there be, accrual or prepayment here? Now, I repeat again, the company bought motor car in January 2019, and the company has to pay insurance 2,400 for 1 year. So that means if we divide 2,400 for 1 year, 1 month, that would be how much is it? 200. Betul tak? 200. So for this 2019, we have 1 year. 1 year ended. Year ended, it means 1 year. That means from January to, so it means that this is January to December. Yeah. So January to December is how many months? 12 months. Yeah. So if the insurance is going to be for 12 months, that means for 1 month it will be 200. Yeah. So 200 for 12 months is going to be 2,400. Okay. Now, is this an example of prepayment? Bukan lagi, ya. So this is insurance, let's say on motor vehicle nombor 1. Let's say, motor vehicle nombor 1. So the amount is 2,400. So this is not accrual, this is not prepayment. Okay, let's look at another motor vehicle. Company beli juga motor vehicle, but motor vehicle sama juga. Insurance is also 2,400. Tapi this motor vehicle number 2, company bought this, let's say in September. and the company has to pay motor insurance for this also 2,400. So if 2,400 divided by 12, that will be how much is it? 200 kan per month, betul tak? Per month 2,400 per month. Tapi the motor vehicle number 2 is used only from September. So that means the use of the insurance for this year is going to be from the September until December. So how many months that would be? September, October, November, December. So how many months? 4 months. So 4 months times 200, how much that will be? How much that will be? 800. Alright? Okay, thank you. 800. So that means the total insurance would be how much is it altogether? How much is it total insurance would be? 3,200.
200.
Yeah, 3,200. So insurance total would be, saya tak pakai Excel ni, 3,200. So this one is actually the calculation. This one is calculation. This one cuma nak tunjuk dalam calculation. Okay. So the total figure is going to be 3,200. Electricity, how much is it? Going to be this one lah. Yeah. Right. So this one is going to be what? A prepayment. Any prepayment, yeah, because it has been prepaid. This one is the amount used, yeah, for this year. How much will be prepaid? Prepayment is going to be 2,400 minus 800. How much that will be?
1,200. 1,200.
1,000?
200.
1,600 lah kan?
600.
Kan 1,600 kan? That is prepayment. Okay. Right. So make a note there. Therefore prepayment is equal to 1,600. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the one highlighted in yellow, this is for the amount used. Yang ni pun for the amount used ya. Tapi sorry, yang ni salah. Bukan yang ni kena kuningkan. Yang ni nak kena kuningkan. So this is the prepayment. Yeah. Okay, what about the prepayment of the revenue pula? Prepayment of revenue. For example, let's say prepayment revenue, let's say okay, let's say the business owner, beside also doing his business, he is also assisting his maybe his friend to do business. So the friend tadi will give him some commission. They will give him some commission. Now sekarang ni the friend just now would like to give him commission in advance. Maybe tak logik lah. Maybe tak logik, tapi dia cuma nak bagi. Maybe because the business owner just now is in need of cash. Walaupun dia ada business, mungkin dia ada masalah cash. So he needs cash. So So the friend just now give commission for whatever say because the friend rely on him because from the past experience, maybe you know this business owner is able to sell goods and has actually bring business to the friend lah, yeah. So because the business owner just now has some financial difficulty maybe, so the friend just now give commission and the commission is in advance. So commission in advance, so we say that that is going to be a prepayment. And let's say the prepaid prepayment of commission, commission. And how much is it he is getting? Let's say 1,000. So this one he is not earning yet, tapi dia dah dapat dah. Yeah. So this one, okay, the prepayment of commission here, are you going to include in here? Okay. Now, in this case, it will not be included. Okay, it will not be included. Tapi money tu dia dah dapat lah. Tapi dia tak boleh tulis dekat sini. Because why? Because this is so for the coming year, not for this year. So let's say this owner deserve commission, 3,000 katakan, ya. Okay, let's say this owner deserve commission. This business owner deserve commission 3,000. So the friend just now give him 3,000. Tapi 2,000 tu is actually memang is for this year. For this December, January to December this year. Yeah. But the 1,000 because the business owner just now in need of cash, so dia minta, yeah. So the commission tu memang the friend give him 3,000, but he cannot record the 1,000 here because this one is actually related to prepayment. So what he shall do is that he has to minus the 1,000 here. So 1,000 that will give him 2,000. So this 2,000 only he can recognize in here. Okay. So about the 1,000 here, 1,000 is going to be recognized in 2020. Tapi cash memang dia dapat 300 ya. Cash, sorry 3,000. Cash he got 3,000. But it's just that in terms of the revenue here, he only need to record 2,000, not 3,000. Because the 1,000 is going to be taken to 2020. So this is an example of prepaid revenue. So you can see that is revenue. Yeah. So the one in green is accrued revenue, accrued expense. This one is prepaid revenue. This one is prepaid expense. Yeah. So this is these are example of the prepayment. Okay, this one is actually in the statement of profit or loss. Okay, what about in the balance sheet? Okay, for balance sheet, Okay, now you can see my entire screen kan? You can see my entire screen. Okay. So now I'm going to use the Excel to show you the balance sheet. So just now on the left here you have the statement of profit or loss. Now you have the statement of the financial position. Statement of financial position. Now it's going to be as at. Please here, this one here for the year ended. This is very important. Yeah, you have to make sure that you know this. You have to write this for the year ended. Yang ni pula as at 31st December 2019. So this one is dia tak boleh highlight. Never mind. So this one, okay. So yang ni sebenarnya, okay. As at tu pentingnya, so that is actually different. As at it means that on this date. So when you prepare financial position, it's going to be as at that particular date. Yeah. So how these are going to be shown here? Okay, if you remember in the statement of profit, statement of financial position, you have the current asset. Okay. So current asset and then you have the current liability. Right. So this one, on the left here, the accrued income, the accrued revenue or the expense and the prepaid revenue and prepaid expense, how that is going to be shown here in the statement of financial position. So if you look here, the one in green is what? Accrued kan? The one in green is accrued. So this is accrued income. Accrued income is actually current asset. So this is what? Rental income. How much is it? It's going to be 500. Okay, what about the electricity? Now this is a liability because you have not paid. So electricity is going to be 1,200. Okay, because accrued not yet paid. Yeah. Okay, what about the one in yellow here? Okay, commission, this one is what? Prepaid revenue. Prepaid revenue, it means revenue for next year. It's not for this year. So you cannot recognize as current asset, you have to show here. So commission, you have to show here 1,000. Okay. Now, this is what? This is prepaid commission. So you have to write prepaid commission. So you have to write prepaid commission. Electricity is what? Accrued electricity, right? So you have to write accrued electricity. Similarly here, you are going to write for this rental income. This rental income is accrued rental income. Yeah. Okay. Last one. What is insurance? Insurance. This one is insurance 1,600 is apa tadi kita kata prepaid kan? Prepaid insurance. So prepaid insurance, this is expense. Yeah, this is expense. It means that the insurance for next year. So you have to consider that to be your current asset. So prepaid insurance. How much that is going to be 1,600. So that's how you show the effect of this, the effect of this prepayment and accrual on the statement of the financial position. I hope that you are clear about that. Yeah. Anything to ask? But the example given in the book is actually very clear too. So maybe you can go through them yourself. Yeah. Okay. The next one is depreciation. Now let's look at the depreciation. Depreciation is chapter 8. Okay, this is another adjustment, but this adjustment is not as difficult as it should be. The only thing is that you just need to show in the statement of financial position and in the statement of profit or loss account. Depreciation is an expense, right? So if let's say we have depreciation, then you are going to include under the expenses. So depreciation. Depreciation, what is depreciation? Susut nilai. Depreciation can be for the building, can be for the motor vehicle or any fixed or non-current assets. Yeah. So what is depreciation? Is actually the reduction in the cost price. Why? Maybe because of the usage. You buy motor vehicle today, let's say. Tomorrow, if you are going to sell the motor vehicle, how much that you can get? How much you can get for the motor vehicle? Okay, if let's say today you bought your motor vehicle 50,000 ringgit and tomorrow you are going to sell, can you get 50,000 ringgit? No, you are not going to get 50,000 ringgit. Maybe 49,000 ringgit. Why? Because of the value, the name, the second hand value now. Yeah, the second hand value because of that. Yeah. So that 1,000 is considered to be depreciation. Even though you have not used the motor vehicle, it's just changing of hands. Yeah, that is considered to be depreciating already. Now because the new item and the second hand item, usually second hand item would be lower than the new item. All right, and then maybe because uh, through usage, yeah, some of the parts of the motor vehicle have been torn off, yeah, the tire wears off, and then there is dented, the car body has been dented, maybe a few accident or bump, or maybe scratches, yeah, and then the car need to be maintained, right? Because there are wear and tear to certain parts of the body of the car. So due to that, there will be depreciation. Now, sometimes, the depreciation may not be due to that, but maybe due to depletion. For example, like certain natural resources have been extracted from the earth, yeah, from the land, and then after a while there will be no longer natural resources, so that too can cause depreciation. Another would be due to technology. If let's say you have bought Nokia telephone, I bought Nokia telephone, I have Nokia telephone, yeah, but now I didn't use Nokia telephone. Why? Because of the technology. Nokia telephone is still good, can still call, but the thing is um, not much facility, yeah, that I can use using the so even though that is still in good condition, but there is no more value. And if you see in the market, how much Nokia telephone worth? About 36 ringgit. One Nokia telephone worth only 36 ringgit. So you can imagine that, due to technology, because now using the technology we can do online, we can buy online, we can search, we can write notes, we can do everything, right? So even Nokia telephone is good, but because the technology is not there, then that's why the value has actually depreciated a lot, yeah, a lot. So that's the reason for the depreciation. Yeah, in Malay that is called susut nilai. So susut nilai is actually an expense. So that's why you can see depreciation here. I have actually included in the under the expense. Okay, what about in the balance sheet? Yeah, in the balance sheet. In the balance sheet, depreciation is going to be reflected in the non-current asset. Okay, right. So if we have non-current asset here, non-current asset, non-current asset. Tak apalah, small letter pun tak apalah, small letter dah tersalah. Okay, so we have motor vehicle just now, motor vehicle 1, and then we have motor vehicle 2, motor vehicle 2. So when we have the depreciation, let's say this one, motor vehicle 1, we said that it's been bought in bila tadi? January. So at the end, see here as at. So at the end of 31st December, how much the motor vehicle would be now? Kalau 50,000 mungkin kalau akhir 1 tahun, after 1 year maybe depreciation kalau 50,000, kalau nak jual lah berapa ribu agaknya? Maybe 47,000, right? So 47,000. So how much is depreciation? Depreciation is going to be 3,000 lah. Yeah, 3,000. Okay, so motor vehicle 1 is going to be therefore here. You have the cost price, cost, and then you have the accumulated depreciation. Accumulated, how to spell accumulated? You can turn to page 113. Page 113. You can see the statement of financial position there. Yeah. So I just want to use short form here. So accumulated depreciation, and then you have the net book value. Net book value. So net book value. Yeah. So how much the cost just now for the motor vehicle? We said that 50,000, right? So the cost doesn't change. So that's 50,000. Okay, net book value now, how much is it? 47,000. 47,000. Right. So here, how to get 47? 50,000 minus 3,000. That will give you 40,000. And this is the depreciation. Now, accumulated, it means that this is the accumulation of 1 year. 1 year baru lagi lah kan. So here, in the statement of profit or loss, you have to show 3,000 here. 3,000, and this is for motor vehicle 1. Motor vehicle 1. Yeah, motor vehicle 1. Alright. So, what about motor vehicle 2? Need also to be depreciated, betul tak? Need to be also depreciated. So, let's assume yang ni maybe because motor vehicle 2 is being used aggressively. Yeah, although that is being bought in September, yeah, bought in September, yeah, tapi it being used aggressively. Now the value of the motor vehicle at the end of 31st December, baru 4 bulan beli, so harga dia dah jatuh kepada let's say 45,000. Same price, 50,000, yeah. Tapi because extensively used, aggressive, memang aggressive. Lepas tu ada accident banyak, dah rosak banyak. So it's now 45,000. So how much would be the accumulated depreciation? 5,000. But this accumulated depreciation is only for how many months? Ingat ni, how many months? This one is for only 4 months kan? This one is for 12 months. So you can see here that walaupun this motor vehicle 2 is actually new, it doesn't mean that the value at the 31st December here is going to be higher than motor vehicle 1 because of this situation. Motor vehicle 2 is being used aggressively and there's a lot of damage done to the car, maybe because due to accident. But motor vehicle 1, which was bought much earlier, 1 year before that, still has a value, a good value, net book value 45,000. So the depreciation here, you can see that this is depreciation 3,000 for 1 year. Why 1 year, 12 months? Because the motor vehicle is bought in January. So January until December 12 months, jadi 3,000 lah. Tapi yang ni is bought in September, October, November, December is only 4 months. So 4 months, 5,000. Yeah. So this is an example of the depreciation. Yeah. So you need therefore to determine the depreciation value. So for motor vehicle 2, depreciation is going to be 5,000. Yeah. Okay. So this is the example of the depreciation. Yeah, example of the depreciation. Now, let's say there are buildings. Yeah, other buildings. There are buildings. Your company has some building. The building is being bought maybe 5 years ago. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, and let's say assume depreciate building value is 400,000. They bought 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And the depreciation, let's say depreciation for 1 year is depreciation for 1 year is let's say 1,000. for every year 1,000. Now you may ask me kenapa depreciation is every year 1,000. Now for 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 determining this, okay, katakan building tu rumah you lah, rumah you or rumah your parents or whatever. Yeah. Kalau you maintain rumah tu, at the end of the year rumah tu akan jadi value dia sekian. Lepas tu kalau you tak maintain, rumah dia akan jadi value dia sekian, right? So therefore you know how much depreciation would be. But for a building, remember building 5 years ago you bought 400. Today how much that will be? How much that will be? 400,000 5 years ago. Today it can catch up to almost 1 million. Betul tak? Because of the increase in the house value due to inflation lah, yeah. So the building, even though it's 400,000 now and due to inflation 1 million, but for this particular purposes kita ignore the inflation. Kita take that to be still at 400,000. Later when you go to higher level, then you have to consider the inflation, the 1 million tadi. So higher level lah, tapi not now. And now tak, kita pakai cost price sahaja. Kita pakai cost price, ya, kita tak pakai di the inflation, ya. Kita tak pakai inflation. So let's assume this, yeah, and then estimation 1,000. Now 1,000 ni subjective. Some business they may consider 1,000 is not sufficient, maybe 2,000. And orang lain pula maybe kata 3,000 dan you pula kata bukan 500 je. So this is subjective, but it depends on the condition of the building. You have to look at the condition of the building. So in this particular example, I use this to be 1,000 ringgit, yeah, every year. So that means 5 years ago, what that would be bila, tahun bila tu? From this lah, 5 years ago from 2019 2019. So that means 2015 kan? 2015 dia beli, let's say kita take January 2015. So 2015, 1, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. So 5 years, yeah. So 5 years ago, that means on January 2015, yeah. So if 1,000 every year, how much would be accumulated? 2015, 2016, 2 tahun, 2017, 2018, 2019. How many years? Depreciation 5 years. Yeah. So how much that you are going to show here, the depreciation for building here? How much is it? The answer is only 1,000 because this is 4. This is 4. Yeah, for the year. This year. That means only 1 year. Okay, this one here indicate 1 year. Indicate 1 year. So it has to be 1,000. It cannot be 5,000. Is that clear, everybody? So, okay. What about in the statement of financial position? So now we have building. Yeah, we have building. buildings here. How much is the cost of the building bought? 400,000. Okay. So how much depreciation has been accumulated? Maksud accumulated ni faham kan? Accumulate. Bermakna kumpulkan. Kumpulkan from the very beginning lah, from the year that it was bought. So how many years? 5 years. So we said that depreciation 1,000 for year 1, for year 2 another 1,000 until 2019. 1,000. So 1,000 plus 1,000 accumulated becomes 2,000 plus another 1,000, 3,000 plus another 1,000 becomes 4,000 plus another 1,000 becomes 5,000. So accumulated amount would be 5,000. Okay, everybody, and this is for how many years? 5 years. So usually we will not show in bracket here. Yang bracket ni kita biasanya tak tunjuk. Because this is actually the calculation purposes. For calculation purposes we don't show. So the accumulated is going to be 5,000. So how much is it? Would be the net book value. The net book value here is actually representing this one here. Representing, okay, the value on, as at it means on this date. So how much is this? 395,000. Betul ke? Tolak tu 5,000. Betul lah kan? So this is for the depreciation adjustment. How you show here in the statement of the saya kecilkan so that you can see. In the statement of profit or loss, and how you can see this in the statement of the financial position. Alright, so that's for the depreciation. Any question, class? Ada soalan ke nak tanya? Tak ada. Okey, kalau tak ada, tak ada soalan?